Morning, welcome. My name is Greer and my pronouns are she, her, and I'm the minister here at Adamstown. For those of you who I haven't met, welcome, welcome. A little shout out today to Soph, who's normally on our tech desk. She's down at the School of Discipleship this weekend, down at Stanwell Tops, so keep her in your prayers. If you're on our socials, you'll be seeing her little vlog updates that she's been doing. She's such a young person. She makes me feel so old, but she's great. She's doing an awesome job of keeping us up to date, and we keep her in our prayers. And I'm pretty sure Pearl is there as well. So we pray for all our younger folk who are at School of Discipleship this weekend. Also, she's going to hate me for this, but I'm going to give a little shout out to my daughter Ruby because she's visiting from up north and she's here at church this morning. Yay! I love it when my babies come to visit me. Welcome. I am so delighted to be doing our Pride series this month. And I heard someone say through the week that they reckon pretty much every church everywhere thinks that they are a welcoming church. I don't know of many churches who would not say, oh yeah, we're very welcoming. We all like to be welcoming. Jesus talks about welcoming others. And yet, I don't know about you, but it's quite possible that you've had the experience of walking into a church and no one even talking to you. No one even greeting you and saying hello. Or maybe you've been to a church where you've been welcomed and said hello to, but you're not allowed to participate. You're not allowed to come up the front or say anything up the front or join in because you don't quite fit the mold. Or maybe you've been to a church where you've heard someone get up the front and preach and say that who you are is a sin and wrong and not okay. Welcoming can come in all sorts of shapes and forms. We are celebrating Pride Month this month as a church. We celebrate lots of things every year. We celebrate Lent and Easter and Pentecost, Advent, Christmas, Day of Mourning, NAIDOC Week, Reconciliation Week, Seasons of Creation, Blessing of the Animals, and Pride. And for a few weeks of the year, we take some time to focus on the experience of our queer siblings and to explore how we as people of faith and as a community of God's love can be more inclusive and more loving to all people. And I want to acknowledge that for some of us, that might not be super comfortable. For some of us, that might not be very easy to do. Because maybe you've grown up with a teaching that says one thing, and now we're a church that seems to say something completely different. And that can be really hard. That change in social thinking, that change in theology, that change in approach to things. So today, we really want to say thank you to our allies. We really want to say thank you to those people who continue to stand with, even when it might not make a whole heap of sense, even when it might not be comfortable, even when it might not be familiar, even when it takes a bit of a stretch and a change. Socially and historically, we change all the time. I mean, once upon a time, people preached about how slavery was a great thing because there's so many verses in the Bible that support slavery. And yet today, we're horrified by the idea of treating someone like a possession and owning them, like that's just abhorrent to us. And yet it once was accepted. And so as we continue to change our thinking and grow socially and evolve, we do change, and that can be hard sometimes. So we really acknowledge that and thank you, our allies, and that's what today is kind of about. I saw a great post. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted it on my stories this week or last week. The Jubilee Church of Canada, a priest there had done a little social media video just introducing what he was going to be speaking about at church the following Sunday, and he wore a stole that was quite colourful, quite rainbow. And they were clearly celebrating Pride as a church. But what he said wasn't overly controversial. It wasn't overly Pride-focused. He was just talking about the passage they were going to be preaching. He was going to be preaching on Sunday. And he posted this video online. And the comments that he received were intense, telling him that he's not a real Christian and that their church aren't really Christians, that he was a false prophet, a liar, a pedophile, because he wore a rainbow stole. And he posted a second video of him preaching the next Sunday about how he saw all these comments, and he tried to engage where he could. And he tried to stand up and speak out, and some he deleted, some he tried to engage in, some he ignored. But he said at the end of it, he got to close his computer, he got to take his rainbow stole off, and he got to go home. He said, our queer siblings, they don't get to take the rainbow off. They don't get to shut the computer. They don't get to go home and be someone else. And he said this. He said, it's incumbent upon us to stand when we can, not to add fuel to the fire, but to at least let our friends know that they are not alone. To let all of the community know we are together, a community loved by God, all of us created by God. And his posts normally get hundreds, maybe thousands of views. That post got over 1 million views on Instagram. It hit home for people. Because the queer reality is that so often people don't speak up, and so often there are not safe spaces. And so often this idea resonates that they don't get to take the rainbow off. They don't get to have a break from it. It is a reality that is lived all the time. And we know the queer reality. We've heard stories the last 2 weeks from our gorgeous Glenn and Luce sharing a bit of their stories, and we try to do that in Pride Month and always at Adamstown to elevate voices that often get silenced by others in the world. And it's not hard. You don't have to go very far when you talk to queer folk to hear stories of having to be closeted, of being kicked out of home, being rejected, being verbally abused, being attacked physically. There is a cultural phenomenon at the moment known as heated rivalry, which if you're under 18, do not go anywhere near it. And it's not for the light-hearted, but it is this cultural phenomenon, books and a TV series that has taken the world by storm. And it's taken the world by storm because it's a love story between two men who play professional hockey and have to stay closeted because it's not safe for them. They cannot continue their careers and have their love. And this is not an unusual story. The experience of being queer and being closeted, we know is so unhealthy and so bad for people's mental health. The suicide rates are so high. Hiding who you are is so dangerous. And so to have the space where you are seen and safe, to walk into a job interview where you're nervous and not sure if your queerness is going to be accepted, and to have someone who's interviewing you wearing a little queer pin. Oh, maybe I'm okay here. To say, these are my pronouns, and have people attempt to use them. Oh, maybe it's okay to be who I am. To meet someone for the first time and they ask you, oh, do you have a boyfriend because you're a girl, or a girlfriend because you're a boy? Not to assume those things. To walk into a church where there's rainbow steps, and then to walk around and see in this space a diversity of people. What must that mean? To have a space where I don't have to hide, I don't have to be closeted, and it's okay to be who I am. When I was up north recently, I went to my son's gym with him, trying to get fit, training for the Camino, trying to get my strength up. And his gym had a room upstairs that was women only from certain hours of the day. And I was there at different hours, but there was no one else up there, no men up there. And it was so lovely to have a space where, as a female, I could just exercise and not be worried about the male gaze, not be worried about men looking at me, feeling safe and feeling comfortable to just exercise and be a sweaty mess up there. Sometimes exclusive spaces are needed. Here at Adamstown, we are not an exclusive club. We are not trying to be just queer folk. We are inclusive and welcoming. We seek to be inclusive and welcoming to all people, to everybody, where everybody can be seen, everybody can be known, everybody can be valued, and everybody can be celebrated. I thank God for Adamstown. I feel like I stand on the shoulders of giants. The ministers who have gone before me paved the way to make this community what it is. But it's not just the ministers who have shaped this church, it's all of you. Whether you've been here for 3 weeks or 3 decades, you have helped shape this church to be what it is. So that as a minister, I can come here and I don't need to hide my own sexuality. I don't need to pretend. I don't need to put up a face. I get to be me. It's a place where you get to be you. And it's only because of all of you that that is possible. So, if you are an ally, if you don't identify as being queer, if you're an ally, whether you're like fiercely like, I'll march in the Mardi Gras as an ally and be proud, or if you're like, I'm a bit, but okay. Wherever you are on that allyship spectrum is totally okay. And we say, thank you. Thank you for being welcoming. Thank you for making this space safe. Thank you for being Christ to all of us. Whoever you are, male, female, non-binary, cisgender, transgender, whether you're Indigenous or a descendant of immigrants or an immigrant yourself, whether you are heterosexual, homosexual, bisexual, pansexual, asexual, something else, whatever colour your skin is, whoever you are, we want this space to be safe for you. We want this space at Adamstown to be a place where you can be seen and known, and loved, and valued, not tolerated, but celebrated. And we do that together so that we can be a community and a family. And why do we do this? We do this because God's love is for all of creation, that all people are created in God's image. And because we are seeking to be an embodiment of God's love, and if we're seeking to be an embodiment of God's love, we too seek to love all people. And because Jesus said so. Remember when your mum or your dad used to say, because I said so. Jesus said so. Jesus said to welcome all. And in so doing, we welcome Christ. So may we have ears to hear, and may we have the courage to walk the talk. Amen.